As the phone clicked dead in my ear, her words lingered like frost on a window pane. I hope the operation goes smoothly, Mom, but if you can't watch the kids next week, maybe it's best you don't come around at all. No tender farewell, no whisper of concern, just that icy edge from my daughter, Sophia. I sat frozen in my worn armchair, the receiver still clutched in my palm, the room around me hushed under the weight of an autumn evening. Beyond the glass, November clouds hung heavy and gray, threatening a downpour, while a persistent twinge radiated from my left knee, turning even a shuffle to the kitchen into an ordeal. The next day loomed with its promise of surgery, a total knee replacement to ease the relentless grind of arthritis that had stolen my stride years ago. At 68, I'd always believed family was the anchor that held you steady through storms. Motherhood, to me, meant endless giving, showing up with open arms, no matter the toll on your weary bones. My late husband, Thomas, used to warn me gently, "Eleanor, you can't keep filling others' wells if yours runs dry." He'd passed a decade earlier from a sudden heart attack, and in the blur of grief that followed, I'd somehow convinced myself my own needs didn't matter anymore. Sophia had leaned on me heavily these past 8 months, expecting me to ferry her twins, Emma and Noah, home from school each afternoon while she and her husband, Marcus, poured everything into launching their boutique coffee shop. I'd managed the routine, driving through gritted teeth on days when pain shot like lightning up my leg, fixing after-school treats, overseeing spelling bees and soccer practices. But with the procedure approaching, I'd broached the subject softly over the line. I needed time to heal, perhaps a month before I could manage the chaos again. I'd braced for empathy, or at least a nod of acknowledgement. Instead, silence stretched, then that cutting retort. I let the phone slip to my side and stared into the empty space, the mantel clock's tick echoing like a heartbeat in the stillness. Tears didn't come. They would have implied I still hungered for her approval, for some crack in her armor to reveal the girl I'd raised. But that hunger had faded, replaced by a hollow resolve. I glanced at the walls lined with framed memories, Sophia radiant on her wedding day, the grandkids splashing at the lakeside, all frozen grins under summer skies. Those moments, I'd funded them all, the gown's silk shimmer, the tropical getaway, the down payment on their starter home. Even the couple's counseling when tensions flared between her and Marcus, I'd covered the sessions with quiet checks and late-night pep talks. My body had paid the price, joints creaking from overextension, sleep elusive from worry. My overnight bag waited by the door, soft nightgown, cozy robe, a mystery thriller I'd likely ignore amid the haze of recovery. No one from the family had volunteered to drive me. The community shuttle service would suffice. Emma, at just 7, might have offered her small hand, but she was too young for such burdens. Gritting through the ache, I rose and hobbled to the hall mirror. Stray silver strands escaped my bun, crow's feet etched deep from squinting at life's relentless demands, shoulders slumped under invisible loads. My own mother had worn that same weary veil at my age. Back then, I'd pitied her exhaustion. Now it mirrored my own unyielding truth. On the counter sat a sealed card, $800 earmarked for Noah's upcoming dental work, unprompted, just because I'd overheard their casual mention of braces. With deliberate hands, I ripped it into shreds, watching the fragments flutter like discarded promises. Dawn broke with the arrival of Sarah, the aide from the Senior Care Network, her smile bright as morning light. She steadied me down the steps, my walker thumping against the wood. "Anyone joining you at the clinic?" she asked kindly. I managed a thin smile. "It's only me today." As she secured my things in the van, I paused for a final gaze at the bungalow. Wilted jack-o'-lanterns from the twins' Halloween carving session still guarded the entrance, their faces caved in. I'd scrubbed the pulp, whipped up spiced loaves, small acts of devotion now feeling like echoes. The clinic's recovery ward gleamed under fluorescent hum, carrying the sharp tang of iodine and fresh linen. Post-op, I drifted in a fog of pain meds, the fresh incision at my knee bandaged tight, a dull throb syncing with my pulse. Sarah returned to monitor my chart, fluffing pillows with efficient care. No family stopping by, she ventured mid-morning, peering toward the empty corridor. I shook my head, not anticipating any. She nodded without probing, her presence a quiet balm. In the haze, truths I'd sidestepped for years surfaced unbidden. It wasn't merely Sophia's barb, it was a lifetime of incremental wounds, layering like sediment until they formed an unyielding scar. After Thomas's death, I'd reinvented myself as indispensable, the grandmother who bridged gaps, the safety net for their upheavals. I'd shuttled the kids during Sophia's grueling work hours, fronted cash when Marcus's initial venture tanked, orchestrated moves across 4 towns in half a decade. I'd equated utility with affection, convinced that being vital ensured belonging. But necessity's love is fickle. It evaporates the moment you withhold. By mid-afternoon, rain pattered against the pane, beads tracing paths like unspoken regrets. At 3, my cell vibrated on the side table. A message from Emma. Nana, you feeling better? XO, simple, pure, no frills, just a child's innate warmth piercing the chill. I lingered over it before typing back. Much improved, darling. Resting up. No quick reply. School likely held her attention. I envisioned her fidgeting in class, doodling hearts on her notebook margin. She made me feel alive, not like a fixture in the background. At 5, another ping from Marcus. Wishing you a speedy mend. Reach out if there's anything. Polite, detached, scripted from duty. I left it unread. Nightfall brought fitful rest, monitors beeping in rhythm with distant footsteps, amplifying the void in my days. Distractions failed. The TV's glow offered no escape, tile counts blurred into tedium. The core question haunted, what becomes of you when your value lies solely in service? The answer lay in that solitary bed, unvisited and stark. Come morning too, clarity sharpened as drugs ebbed, ushering in a subdued fury, not explosive, but a weighted stone in my gut. Sarah assisted my first tentative steps to the windowsill chair, praising my grit. You're a fighter, she said. I didn't feel it, but perhaps resilience simmers like embers, not flames. Tom, the rehab specialist, early 40s, upbeat without excess, guided walker-assisted laps around the room. Homeward bound soon, he encouraged. You've got the spirit. I spared him the reality. Return meant confronting an echoing house. Or perhaps not, maybe solitude could be claimed, not endured. As twilight painted the horizon lavender, I pulled up my phone's journal and drafted a ledger, subscriptions to sever. Bi-weekly market hauls for Sophia's pantry. Emma's ballet fees, I covered a portion. Holiday fund I'd seeded for her milestone birthday. Utility top-ups during lean months. Each entry loosened a thread, and rather than fray, I sensed reconstruction. Discharge came on a crisp Thursday, Sarah bundling me into the service car with a parting embrace, the sole touch of solidarity in this ordeal, from someone I'd known mere days. The driver navigated in companionable quiet. I savored the passing scenery, familiar oaks shedding crimson, tidy lawns bordered by picket fences. Yet the landscape felt altered, as if my gaze had shifted. At home, I hesitated before the threshold, cane firm, knee protesting. The interior exhaled stale air and shuddered calm, no clutter, no signs of longing from within. Easing onto the settee, quiet enveloped me like a familiar quilt. Then, atop the console table, a stack of forwarded post, courtesy of my neighbor Helen, no doubt. I'd ring her gratitude later. The top piece caught my eye, cream stock edged in silver, Sophia's looping script. Within, a greeting card bloomed with watercolor lilies. Mom, hoping all's well post-op, life's been hectic here. Emma sends hugs. Ping when you're mobile again. S. Surface level, obligatory, no contrition, no depth. I set it aside, a pivot point crossed, not by her, but within me. Expectation had dissolved. That night, I delved into the desk's lower compartment, unearthing ledgers of large S since Thomas's absence, $3,200 for Emma's daycare startup, $9,500 to salvage Marcus's tech side hustle. Routine allowances for sundries, auto fixes, seed money for the twins' education funds. Totaling them stirred no shock, only pattern recognition. These weren't mere transactions, they were fragments of my essence, hours diverted, anxieties compounded, vitality siphoned. I'd bartered access to their world, only for the door to slam regardless. Dawn's light filtered in as I dialed the credit union. A warm voice greeted me, Sophia, ironically. I stifled a wry chuckle. Ms. Whitaker, how may I assist? Review my recurring outflows, please, and terminate the bulk. We parsed them methodically. At each tied to her address, I interjected. And that. And that one. A beat of hesitation. Confirmed, ma'am. Gazing at the oak beyond, branches barren now, I affirmed. Absolutely. The call closed. Emptiness didn't follow, clarity did, crisp as fresh snow. Midday brought Emma's call, her tone tentative. Nana? Mom says you're worn out. A bit, Petal, I replied softly, but mending daily. Visit soon. My chest tightened. That bond was my lifeline. Soon, yes, very soon. Friday unveiled brighter skies. I flung wide the drapes, sunlight gilding the scarred oak dining surface like veins on ancient bark. Breakfast was deliberate. Poached eggs, rye, herbal brew, sustenance for one. No summonses disrupted, no pleas for errands, no begs for buffers. Serenity reigned, unapologetic. By midday, I unearthed the dossier marked Legacy, Property Titles, Thomas's Codicil, my unfinished testament from Ian's past. Once, I'd pondered a family foundation, back when Sophia viewed me as kin, not convenience. That illusion had eroded into rote reliance, my aid presumed perpetual. Extracting blank folios, I reframed not vengefully, but lucidly. She declared my utility optional. I merely concurred. Yet Emma, her nestling on my lap for tales, her clumsy stitches in winter scarves, her wildflower posy with best Nana ever, she merited safeguarding. The line trilled, pulling me from reverie. Ms. Whitaker? The bank, Sophia again. Confirming all linked disbursements halted for the Whitaker-Lewis home. Your advisor notes interest in a dedicated fund. Sunlight warmed the planks. Precisely. A secure account for my granddaughter Emma, autonomous, vesting at 30. Feasible, will initiate drafts. Inform relatives? Hold off, I directed. Severance brought ease, like shedding sodden garb. Post-call, I maneuvered to the hall cupboard, retrieving a dusty album. Thomas in flannel amid garden toil, Sophia swaddled anew, me cradling newborn Emma. I propped the latter by the hearth. Dusk fell as an unknown caller pierced the quiet. Nana. Emma's murmur. Did you quarrel with Mom? No quarrel, dear, just new paths. Silence, then. Still my Nana, even if visit sparse? Emotion welled, I steadied. Forever, regardless. Her breath hitched, a muffled sob. Miss you. And I you. In the aftermath, cradling the snapshot, sorrow mingled with serenity. No more chasing shadows. I stood firm. Monday's post yielded a plain missive, Sophia's penmanship precise. I lingered at the island before unfolding. Mom, your recent distance baffles us. Marcus and I extend grace, but radio silence strains. If surgery lingers in your mind, we explained the frenzy. No need for drama. Emma's adrift. Spare her our rift. Suggest a sit down to unpack. Your slot. No remorse, merely maneuvering, care cloaked in command. I filed it with priors, invoices, perfunctory gratitudes, belated festives scant on sentiment. Afternoons summoned Robert Klein, our solicitor since the 90s, when Thomas and I redrafted after Sophia's arrival. Once an eager novice, now silvered and deliberate, he clasped my hand with genuine regard. Eleanor, message received, revisions, safeguards. Grave matters afoot. Indeed. He listened as I outlined, halted aids, Emma's endowment, testament tweaks, 0 to Sophia and Marcus. He poised his stylus. Resolute. At 68, I've donated blindly for decades. Utterly. We dissected provisions, phrasing, safeguards over 90 minutes. My poise astonished us both. Concluding, he observed, clients often arrive shattered. You seem resolved. Shattered long ago, I countered. Now liberated. Homeward, I steeped chamomile, Thomas's favored blend. Quietude enveloped, no longer void but victorious. Evening heralded Emma's audio note. Nana, weekend visit? Got a craft to share. I replayed, then affirmed. Delighted, love. Show me. No parental veto required. Saturday dawned misty, gate hinges sighing in the breeze. Midway through my brew, rap sounded familiar cadence. Emma awaited, slicker oversized, portfolio hugged tight. Hello, Nana, as if mere hours parted us. Enter, before damp sets. She shed layers, toes pattering damp trails. Towel in hand, I admired her tousle-dry routine, cheeks aglow with youth's unshadowed joy. Brought sketches, she announced, claiming the table. Theme, resilient. Pages unfurled, pastels, inks, sequins winking. Central, an elder with white tresses, blue shawl, staff poised atop a ridge, sun ablaze. You, she declared. Told class about your knee fix, unbowed. Teacher called it valiant. Words caught, I perched opposite. Some days, valor wanes, I confessed. She shrugged. Valiance persisting. We crafted, conversed, I flipped flapjacks. Queries flowed, knee tales, Thomas Sophia courtship, why shelves brimmed frames yet rooms sparse furnishings. Noon neared, she confided, mom unaware, said friends played eight. Joy you're here, but truth serves, we won. Truth for me I yearn. Too young for subterfuge, I loathed my role in it. Departing, I gifted a tattered, the hidden doorway, her eyes sparkling. Solitude post-exit evoked not isolation, but kinship's echo. Emma reflected me, not lineage, but essence. She beheld. Night bore Marcus's epistle, formal script. Eleanor, Sophia's distressed. Your aloofness, perhaps sway over Emma concerns. Route contact via us henceforth. Visits permissible with advanced suitability. Audacity, to gatekeep the child I'd soothed, tutored tunes. Unread fully, it joined Sophia's cache. No retort. Elucidations exhausted. Monday, I penned a tally. Allies aware of trials. Takers oblivious. Givers rare. The sole visitor for sketches in drizzle. Patterns etched deep. Betrayal's sting paled to endured quietude, not frailty, but fallacy that devotion demanded boundless yield. Robert rang, documents primed. He'd deliver postmeridium, Emma's haven, revised bequest, bulwarks against opportunists. I needed biscuits, aroma grounding, creation for self. He arrived punctual, case weathered as memory. Spreadsheets aligned, prose stark. Optional, epistle adjunct? Contemplation, unvarnished verity. Yes, forthcoming. We notarized, scrutinized. At disownment clause, he halted, irrevocable, Sophia, Marcus excised. Comprehended. Regrets common. None. She bid adieu, I accept. Sealed, he rose, gaze appraising. Rare praise, but admirable, Eleanor. Admirable, unheard from Sophia in eras. Alone, house humble yet harbored, earned through dual labors, sustained solo amid sorrow. Evenings rang unanswered, voicemails piled. Sophia's tone rigid, mom, words out on alterations. Unjust, severing kin, heritage. Mia suffers. Respond. Legacy? As if I were a state, not entity. Filed, auditory bookmark of tardiness. Slumber came unbroken, no aids, no unrest, pure repose. Tuesday's chill nipped. I donned Thomas's wool vest, cedar-laced, fireside with brew, papers secured. Midday chimes, not summons, presence. Peering, a diminutive figure in teal parka, pad clutched. Emma. Library detour, she explained. Close walk. Gravity in her stance. Permissible. Always. Boots discarded, cocoa prepared, milky, swirled precise, froth doubled. She observed warily. Post-sips. Will tweak real. Curiosity untainted. Yes. Why? Age-belied wisdom. True bonds aren't tasks, funds and fondness diverge. Nod. Mom deems penalty. Brow arched. Punitive. Shake. Weary of yielding. Air thickened. Not harm, healing for me. She unveiled pad, us, mug steaming, vista framed. Ours. Voice hushed. Gorgeous. From pocket, satin sachet. Slender gold chain. Acorn pendant. School fair find. Your backyard oak, autumn's crown. Tears pricked. Priceless gift. Shy beam. Lunch, melts fruit. Drawer tidied amid giggles. Porch farewell. Barriers or not, I'll return. Cheek cupped, here I remain, visible no more. Embrace fierce. Night musing. Sketch, trinket, devotion unforced. Dawn, device silenced, not rebellion respite. Knitting resumed. Azure Afghan, shelved mid Sophia's pal query for a colleague's layette. Halfway forgotten, now personal. Needles clicked therapeutic, reclaiming calm. Fourish knock. Helen, bearing minestrone, perennial scarf. Thought of you. Join. Table claimed, infusions poured. Non-intrusive, yet probing gaze. Spotted Emma. Gem. Indeed. Faring. Truth tempted. Emerging, trials abound. Palm over mine, over Gavian's. Reclaim, no debts lifelong. Need masked love. Sigh. Common snare. Quietude shared, stew's vapor curling. Doorward, guilt-bearers approach. Cherish this, your haven, your glow. Echoed post-departure. Device reactivated. Omissions accrued. Marcus twice, Sophia thrice. Message unplayed. Text dispatched. Cease calls. Space required. Contact on my terms. Blanket progressed. Tensions eased in yarn. Sunday stirred voluntary. Abode serene. Canvas anew. Porridge simmered oats, nutmeg, pear slices. Thomas's right. Savored methodical, self-honor. Cedar trunk yielded relics. Missives. His fob. 68 recital stub. Sophia's birth band. Journal resurfaced, final ink 6 years prior, co-signing their loft extension. Her gratitude fleeting, repayment nil. Fresh leaf, November 20th. Utility defined me relied upon, presumed. Today unyoked. Freedom dawns. Unadorned, authentic. Garden bench, Afghan draped, vows swayed. Sufficed. Afternoon dispatch, Sophia's missive, let down, honored boundaries, but Emma aches. Self-centered, we strive, you hinder. S. Blame veiled. Unanswered. Emma rang, hushed, forbidden call. Thrilled you did. Clash cause. Drift, not discord, even unwilling. Concert attend? If invited. You're new there. That sustains. Wish cohabitation. Throat swelled. Likewise, but essence endures. Steady post-call, autonomy bloomed. Post-hardy. Marcus's dossier, ledger attached. Eleanor, post-fray, delineate fiscal ties to Whitaker-Lewis. Enclosed, historical aids, joint ventures, pacts. Tables, fabrications. Reconsider, kin thrives on faith, not reprisal. Reprisal. Creases ironed, drawer bound. Fridge note, grace defies grudge. Helen's rolls warmed porch vigil, sunset gilding eaves. Buoyed air, she noted. Unburdened. So, fresh strife. Bargains misconstrued as muddle. Chuckle. Cease assent, commence reflection. Teas shared wordless, sufficiency in solidarity. Candle flickered sillward, sense melding. Mirror glance, tresses moonlit, gaze keen. No pliancy left, absence unregretted. Thursday's linen perch halted by bells insistent. Curtain twitch, Sophia solo, posture rigid, expectancy etched. Delay weighed obligation. 10 breaths, then yield. Sophia. Even keel. Mother. Pause. Entry. Aside stepped. Scan surveyed alien terrain. Shelves, tomes, Thomas's throne. Dialogue, she ventured, sofa perched. Tension-free. Nod. Inhale. Grudge noted, but schism excessive or retribution. Silence. Baffling. Severances. Pressures mount. Marcus's outlet. Palm raised. Halt. Unsolicited. Ceased subsidizing exclusion. Tense. Ceased motherhood. Regard steady. Ceased servitude. Flush. Unjust. As surgery oversight. Gaze dropped. Singular lapse. Accumulation. Recross. No brawl sought. Nor I. Desire. Challenge laced. Esteem, personhood, beyond ledgers or labors. Aversion, blink. Emma pines. Reciprocal. Query stump. Truth tell. Rise. Unwitting chain reaction. Reclamation mine. Exit wordless, pivot, disaccord your method. Unrequested accord. Latch snicked, poise held. Text followed, Emma's mad at mom. Me too. Never. Constants persist. Curtains dawn drawn, pallor illuminating motes, heirlooms. Brew cooled clutched. Secretary depths, envelope, maternal script, Grandma Vivian, gone at my 30. Mauve ring, protracted farewell. Release soft, persist vivid. Clung fierce, fractured, now mended sans fanfare. Fresh vellum for Emma, should eyes find no love unwavering. Complications adult woven, voids filled, I departed not uncaring, but self-caring. And signed, maturity's gift. Banks affirm, endowment sealed, Emma's tomorrow shielded. Filed, cake-baked, citrus, Thomas's fate, Emma's delight. Slab plated, inscribed, haven eternal, voiced or not. Dusk, bicycle gleam, Emma halting, wind flushed. Sunday dawned woolens befitting, amble to steepled sanctuary, oak sentinel. Pew sparse, echoes soft. No supplication, anchorage sought. Eyes shut. Absolution once meant reinstatement post-eject. Now, departure unbitter, power relinquished. Porch knit, Afghan near complete, flaws endearing. Buzz, Sophia's vacation bound, Emma seeks stay. No amends, largesse feigned. Contemplation, fortifications, epics, voids. Reply, Emma welcomed unbound. You? No entitlements. She knows paths. Measured finality. Hour hence, Emma, affirmative. Anytime, bloom. Relief sigh. Packed already. Chuckle, linens launder. Mora's arrival, valise light, tome tucked. No entourage pure. Week wove, dawn crepes, nocturnal reeds, attic unearths, Sophia's braids, hose wielded, sun squinted. My twin. Yours truly, perhaps forgotten sparks. Apex, Afghan fondled. Mine, for she who affirmed presence. Puzzle, then grin, known. Parting morn silvered, window vigil, maple confetti shed. Den slumber, curled, foot escaped weave. Likeness to toddler Sophia, yet singular. Breakfast, grown, house adjacent, proximity eternal. Lovely, but self-recall paramount. Tilt. How lost. World's murmur debts, services, hush, traded for approbation crumbs. Attune. Avert. Pen yours, love no editor. Toast done quiet. Pick up, Sophia vehicular, Emma porch clung. Weekly rings. Answered. Vanished not, L. Stationary, unseen no more. Nod damp, dash. Stood sentinel. Afternoon ledger, not discarded, wholeness permissionless. Doristede silence. Severed. Await no more. Sufficient. We, elders, spaces reclaimed. Solitude, not adrift, present, enduring whole.